allowing me to come into your living rooms.
This week, we got word that Sony will be rebooting one of the great sexy sci-fi classics based on French book, Barbarella. If you haven't seen that with Jane Fonda, one of the only times you'll see Jane Fonda really sexy and half naked. When she did look good back then. And I'm talking not her exercise then. I mean, we're talking way back then. Well, actress Sydney Sweeney has been picked to star and executive produce the new Barbarella movie. We'll read this into Out of Deadline. Sydney Sweeney isn't done staying business with Sony Pictures. Sources tell Deadline the Emmy-nominated Euphoria and White Lotus actress is attached to star in the new Barbarella movie for the studio. The film is based with Jean-Claude Forest's French comic book that was turned into a 1968 movie starring Jane Fonda. Insiders add the new movie is still in development with no writer or director attached, but say that Sweeney is expected to executive produce. Not much is known about this version of the 1968 pick, directed by Robert Vadam, follows an astronaut from the 41st century who sets out to find and stop the evil science Duran Duran. And before you say it, yes, the group got their name from this movie, whose positronic ray threatens to bring back evil back into the galaxy. The film wasn't a massive box office hit, but since then become a cult classic. And in 2020, the Forest Estate announced plans for a new film. Sweeney has become a fan favorite with Sony. The studio has not only tapped her with co-star Marvel picks Madam Web opposite Dakota Johnson, but also acquired the package, the registration, with Sweeney on board to produce and star. Sweeney has quickly become one of the most sought after young stars after her breakout roles in the first season of The White Lotus, second season of Euphoria, but scoring Emmy nods besides Madam Web. She also recently wrapped productions on Tony Todd's National Anthem, which also stars Simon Rex and Halsey, as well as Reality. She also recently launched a production company that has become hands-on in that part of the process. Besides the registration, Sweeney also partnered with Endeavor to content to produce a TV adaptation of The Player's Table. Well, see, the thing about it is, they say she's well known on that. I don't watch Euphoria. I don't watch The White Lotus. I did hear The White Lotus is good, but that's, it's not something I would watch on HBO. She was in The Handmaid's Tale and a couple of other minor things. She's done voice work on Robot Chicken. But the thing about it is, and here I say it again, made for the modern era. What do you think they're going to do with Barbarella? What do you think they're going to do with her? They're going to change everything around. They're going to make her dominant, which she wasn't. The main story is that she comes from a world where basically, people don't have sex anymore, really. The type of sex that they have is a lot different on there. And she ends up on the world where basically there's a lot of lust going on. Will there be this lust in this movie? Not really. I don't think so. They're gonna turn this into female Flash Gordon. Let's put it in that perspective. Is that a bad thing? Depends on how it is written, the characters, and will they use the orgasm organ again? I don't think so on that. I'll be surprised if you haven't seen that scene where Jane Fonda is thrown into this organ and it strips her clothes off and it's supposed to kill her by orgasms. Yes, that's right, folks. Death by orgasms. And it is an incredible scene. I mean, there's a lot of sex in this show. I mean, there's group orgies and shit like. I mean, there's not stuff where you see people's privates or anything. Yeah, they get a little buff naked. Nothing that would be, I wouldn't show it to kids, but it's not something that's for 1968. Pretty tame, but still sexy. I mean, there have been jokes about this on many TV series, including the Venture Brothers. I mean, that last season, where they're in the dream world. He thinks he's in heaven, and it's a mixture of Empire Strikes Back meets Barbarella, including with the killer dolls. And it was pretty funny. And that's the other thing. Will they use the killer dolls? I would love to see that. You've just watched a segment from our Madman Cafe show every Sunday night at 6 p.m. You can catch it over at Odyssey. Check in the description below for the link that will lead you to our Q2Cast TV site.